You.
Okay, and you don't. I sent you a thing yesterday.
Otherwise occupied. I don't think that they could be an ally.
No. I think they're France, whatever. So the drill. Usually, what you don't have to do these. I can do these, but usually Brian will read the little ad read things underneath the headings. Do you have interest in doing those? Would you like me to do them?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was on the wrong tab the whole time.
Oh yeah, 6/23/2015 is the one you want.
Yes. No. I want to do the top of the show.
Good.
So
and then the little segment things like before Stump a Trek, or I'll go Stump a Trek Nerd brought to you by. And then there's that little bit. You don't mind reading that?
No. I got that.
I want to hear it in your excited jury voice. So I'm glad you can set that. Also, the story pool tab that you were on, just that thing's a nightmare. So don't look at that.
I won't. Yeah. No. I was like, whoa, geez, we're pretty heavy.
Yeah. Too many things.
So the opening like back and forth stuff.
So I always start that. It's just like coming up on TMS, and then you'll go. So each one of us has a line, basically.
Yes.
Until we get to the end.
So. Here we go. All right, I was on the wrong thing again.
Very tip-top page. See that there? The one with the "We Have a Schedule." That one.
So I'll just go after you. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I don't know how the pattern will work, but one of us will end with your emails and more in this episode of the Morning Stream. I play a thing, and then off we go. Simple pimple right on your dimple. All right, chat room, y'all ready for this? Reverb, what? You getting reverb?
I'm not getting reverb.
Hold on. Oh. There, now you're not getting reverb, chat room. Glad you said that. Jeez. It's a little setting that I can't actually monitor, and I always forget to turn it off.
A likely story.
Yeah, chat room. Holy shit. It's coming back. It's fine now. Look at them freaking out. All right. Let's record. Yeah, you should come on in. Come on in. It's a nice place. Everyone loves it.
Come on in. We're all hanging out in the Frog Pants chat.
Let's see. Okay. Don't need that open. Neither do I need that. Okay. All right. Here goes. We're recording. Begins. In 3, 2. Scott, come on now. Keep it together. You've done this a million times. Here you go, buddy. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, we have a schedule.
Oh, crap. Here, do that. Sorry. Hold on. I effed it up already. Because I opened up the chat, and now it's making sounds, and then you started the thing.
Yeah, I hear the little ticky-tacky noises.
I know. Yeah. All right. Here we go. So I think I stopped it.
You're fine. You're easy.
Everybody'd say jury again.
Everyone say jury. All right.
Just to make sure that I stopped it.
And you're in the right chat room.
I am.
It'll take a while.
I'll start. Come on. Now everybody's not saying jury anymore.
Well, Twitch is slow with their... There they are.
Yes.
They see you now.
Okay. Awesome. Let's go.
All right. Here we go. Begins in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, we have a schedule.
Who's going to be the hero of your pants?
What did I say this? Oh, some news to piss you off.
Hannibal ate itself.
Taylor Swift is Lord.
Fitness geek.
Your jury, and your emails and more on this episode of The Morning Stream.
Too little short for a stormtrooper.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
Luke's just not a farmer, Owen. He has too much of his father in him.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
The Force will be with you, always.
Star Wars, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing at a theater near you.
Well, that sure was different.
The Morning Stream, the Morning Stream, the Morning Stream, the Morning Stream, the Morning Stream.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting. Looking for a come up. This is The Morning Stream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to TMS, The Morning Stream, for Tuesday, 23rd of June, 2015. Good Lord. I'm Scott Johnson, and that is Justin Robert Young sitting in for one Brian Ibbett. Hello, Justin.
Hi, friends.
Hello. It's like Tuesday, except different, right?
Well, I feel like I missed a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't think of it as me shirking my duties, but rather charging up the Mega Man blaster. So you just got much more of me on this episode when this is the lonely island in a sea of non-TMS.
Well, it's we haven't done this in a while where it's you sitting in, but we have done it before. So for those at home panicking as if this is some kind of strange event that you're not prepared for, there's precedence.
Well, I think, I third mic'd. This is the first time that it's just me and you, because very rarely is there an episode of the morning stream where one of you guys isn't on it.
That's true. That's true. I guess we haven't done this just one-on-one. We've done other things, obviously, but
yeah, we've done plenty. There's
Yeah.
plenty of me and you just yipping and yapping.
Sure. And Tuesdays always have your stink on them unless you're out of town. And today you really get to just rub it all over the tree. So
There is definitely a rich history of me and you talking while Brian politely just hopes that if he doesn't engage me, I'll talk myself out.
it's one of the great things I could actually say about Brian as a co-host is he is very, very good at knowing that I'm going to be a loudmouth in a certain situation, or I'm going to talk everyone's ear off. And he's very good about making it so I don't worry about him the whole time. In other words, it isn't that I can ignore him or forget he's there or any of that. He just has a great sense of Scott needs to go off here, and my job is to let him do that. It's a really great symbiotic thing that happens.
Oh, it is a great element of a co-host, and one you won't be afforded today on the show because I'll keep talking whether or not it's appropriate. But Brian is. I miss Brian.
Yeah, I miss Brian too. He's having fun though. It appears he's in Tokyo. We've gotten some lovely photos and a couple of videos. My favorite is the one where he entered his hotel room, and upon opening the bathroom door, he was greeted by the moving, gaping maw of a toilet. So as soon as he walks in, one of these Japanese electric toilets goes, "Maw," and like literally just opens for him as he walks in, which is fan-freaking-tastic. We need those here.
Japan.
What are we doing?
When will you not be the most delightful thing ever?
That's right. When you've got a parade of people in a restaurant all wearing Superman logos, ranging from a giant man in a robot suit and a skimpily clad cheerleader girl, but yet you've somehow got Superman logos on your chests for no reason. Like, that's Japan. Japan's got it all.
Or just that whole like Harajuku kind of culture where everybody looks like a shinier version of a fly girl from like In Living Color. Like, it's all just like gigantic oversized logos and huge pants.
It's
like,
good. It's a wonderland, really. And I'm glad that we worked it out after World War II. I'm glad that all panned out.
You want to know what? We all got a little hot. We all said some things we regret. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Sorry about the 2 giant, devastating, world-altering bombs we dropped there. Sorry about that part.
Hey, you want to know what? We just we got some issues. We got to work them out.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's just make fun of Hitler.
Can we all agree?
Can we all agree that let's just make Hitler something that no one ever forgets?
Yeah.
Okay, hands in and go.
Go. Break is what the kids say. So I got a couple things to get through this morning before we call Daryl. We are doing a Stump a Trek Nerd today with Daryl Skeels, a.k.a. the grumpiest guy in the show, so that's coming up, so stay tuned for that. The Nerdtacular schedule is out, and we haven't talked about it on the show, but if you want to go find out what's happening minute to minute at the big event in less than, let's just look it up. I'll tell you how many days. Counting it down to, here we go, 37 days, 7 hours, 44 minutes, and 53 seconds. Until Nerdtacular 2015.
It's going to be the best. What are big differences to the schedule this year?
The biggest difference is, one of the key differences. We have a very special guest coming, Chris Metzen of Blizzard fame. If you've ever played a Blizzard game, he has had his hands in it, including your Hearthstone addiction.
Beloved Hearthstone, yes.
He's every major character you can think of is from him. He's the brainchild of all those things. Well, that doesn't make sense. They are all his brainchildren, rather. And he's bringing his wife, Kat, who we've known forever in the community. And those two are coming because they want to come, not because we asked them to come, which is really nice. And he's going to come. So what that means is a great big instance panel, which we've never done before, which will primarily focus on him and his creative process. I think Russell Brower will join us.
Have you not done? You've done the instance. You always do the instance at Nerdtacular.
Never.
Right?
This will be the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, right? Because it just never. It always felt like, does this? What would this do? Why are we? I don't know. It never felt like it fit. For who knows why. Probably just in my own head.
I would say it should have felt like it fit because 50% of the people that go to Nerdtacular are instance fans.
Yeah, no, you're right. Many of them are, if they're even into other stuff more, their gateway was the instance. So it's kind of stupid that we've never done it, but I can't think of a better way to kick that off than having two, the guy responsible for everything at Blizzard, really, and then the other guy responsible for everything you hear at Blizzard, head of sound and music, Russell Brower, up on stage. And then we'll all get up there, tear it up, have a great time. So there's a few bigger deal type panels like that this year that we haven't had before, but we really liked last year's split it up, do stuff in like tracks kind of thing. So we're doing that again.
Yeah.
Jury's doing his one-man show.
I am
in a brand new space called the Primrose, which is on the main floor next to everything else.
Yeah, I gotta get a picture of that.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like yet either. The name has given me all kinds of ideas, but I actually haven't seen it. It's brand new.
Nobody knows. I think I'm just gonna start calling the hotel and asking them for pictures.
Yeah, and rumor is, I don't have, again, no confirmation on this, but those who came the last 2 years, you'll know that your hotel rooms had these weird, like, windows in the showers. So,
the freaky deaky Dutch, red light district shower windows.
Yeah, really weird. We think that's because of all the German tourists, but here's what changed. Apparently, there was a big renovation across the entire hotel, and I think those were all removed. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure.
That was my favorite part.
I know. Look, any chance you have to share your wiener with those around you.
Hey, listen, sometimes you got to sling that dinkling. You just got to get it out there. Get it, have it, shake some hands.
Yeah. Pressed fruit bowl, all that stuff. So they've supposedly removed all that. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's true across the board, if it's just the suites or what. I don't know. But we're going to find out soon enough. But the important part is all of the stuff that's locked in stone in terms of schedule is up, and it's at nerdtacular.com/schedule. So if you're coming and you want to know where Metson's going to be, where Jury's stuff's going to be, where I'm going to be, FilmSack, TMS, The Instance, all this stuff, it's all up there, ready to roll.
Already causing problems with that, by the way.
Why is that?
Because we're doing for the first time ever, we're doing a fun professional wrestling panel.
Oh, yeah.
That's on the schedule. It's going to feature myself, Ice Swarm, of course, of all Frog Pants fame.
Yeah.
And Joey Image, who, by the way, I was at his last match in Moosic, Pennsylvania, just outside of Scranton.
I saw some video proof of this. Pretty rad.
And there was a Frog Pants cheering section.
Whoa. Really?
It was a little tadpole community was there with me watching Joey wrestle his last match. So anyway, we're gonna be doing a wrestling panel there, and it happened to be on the schedule that's out now, up against the Angry Chicken.
Ooh, that's gnarly. That's some scheduling business right there.
This is the kind of stuff that happens, right? And I even when I had initially seen a sketch of the schedule, I was like, oh, okay, well, we can think of. I was trying to think of some funny stuff. So anyway, it got brought up on Twitter, and David Michael was thinking about maybe we could swap, something here, something there. So
yeah,
we'll see if we can figure it out. But otherwise, we're I don't know. I'm already causing trouble.
Yeah, this is the point. Is the Jury? He's a disruptor, really. Is it disrupting technology?
I'm disrupting what is I am sure a meticulously set out schedule by really, because this all comes back to the fact that I want to be on the Angry Chicken. It's like anything else. You listen to a podcast. Everybody here listening can probably understand.
Sure.
This is a podcast that I listen to a lot that I would like to be on. Now I get to be on.
Yeah, there you go.
Angry Chicken is there. I want to, listen, I've hung out with Dills. I know Garrett. I've hung out with Joss at Nerdtacular last year, but now that I actually play Hearthstone and I listen to the Angry Chicken every week, I want to be on there.
Sure.
By the way, this very comment is me campaigning to be on the show.
Oh, I know. I realize this gives you a public forum to kind of express what you really actually want out of
Exactly. And if everybody just at replied Dills, Jocelyn, and Garrett and said, Justin, you should move the schedule and Justin should be on the show. I mean, like that would be up to them.
Yeah, entirely.
It would be the populace rising up.
I don't remember who I'm against with the Wendy Terpster Scott panel, but I fear for anyone else fighting that fight because that's going to be a badass, epic, horrible advice panel that Wendy will help moderate.
Yeah,
it's going to be insane.
Honestly, Scott, that's really the only downside about Nerdtacular is I don't know if there is a panel that I wouldn't want to be on.
Right.
And because, we do enough of them, it's like it is just, in all seriousness, it is just a function of the gig that you got to miss panels that are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just kind of stinks. But at the same time, that means for you, the average person coming in to watch the panels, man, you get everything you want.
Yep. And we'll have a camera live streaming everything and recording everything. So if you are, much like the way BlizzCon works, if you're there and you are sitting in the panel that I'm running for some reason, and the other two were interesting to you, but you just thought, well, I got to pick one, that stuff will all be archived and you'll get access to it. And if you're at home, you can catch whatever you want. So worry not, everyone. We got you covered. It's going to be great. I'm totally stoked.
Where's your panic level?
Okay, if my scale is a 10, let's say my scale's a 0 to 10, it's probably a 4 or a 5 right now. It'll probably crescendo somewhere around 8. If I can get, well, it's a whole other thing I'll tell you about off air, but if I can get a certain thing resolved before then, it'll probably take at least 3 points off that scale.
Oh, gotcha.
But keep in mind, everybody, that when we stress and panic about this event, it's because we want people to have a great time. And guess what? 8 years, excuse me, this will be 9th. 9 years, no one's had a bad time that I'm aware of. So I think the panic helps because it means we're giving it our all.
Well, I mean, yes. Like, their attention to detail means something. You killing yourself and worrying yourself to death, probably less so. But I will say this. If you have only gone to Nerdtacular, in terms of convention,
sure,
and you believe that this is what a convention is, you are you very sorely mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Most conventions are not run very well, especially smaller ones, especially ones without a larger staff. This is a convention, essentially run. The Brain Trust is 4 people max?
Four people maybe. If you count my wife, who's a huge part of it, we're probably 4 heads together.
But to do something that continues to expand, although incrementally, artificially, by the way, you restrict, how fast this thing should or could expand naturally.
Yeah.
Because you want to keep it intimate. It is super awesome. So there is a lot of effort that kind of goes into it because it runs so smoothly.
Yeah, and I'm told that we have a number, literally a handful of tickets that came available. So there's still some tickets. So if you're like, you know what, I'm not doing anything the last weekend of July, I would like to go out there. Or if you're local and you didn't pick them up quick enough or something like that, go to nerdtacular.com and get them because there's only a few left. I just found that out. We were totally out. Now we have a few. So there it is.
Normally, I would be preparing to do Nerdtacular next week.
I know, right? Isn't that weird? That's the weird bit, is that we're literally a week from the old date. Ugh. I don't like thinking about it. Go see Inside Out. I just want to make a quick recommendation. I saw that with family. That movie's badass and awesome and rad and heartfelt and wonderful and deserves every accolade it's getting. And it proves that Pixar, when they really put the right people and their minds to it, they make magic. And I cannot say enough about Inside Out. Inside Out resonated with me as a father and as someone with daughters, which is the same as what I said when I was a father part. It's really, really great. And I defy anyone to go in there and not just choke up. Because Pete Docter is a evil bastard who wants to make you emotional, and he does a really good job of it. It's a fantastic movie.
So smart, though, that movie.
Yeah, real smart.
That was really what kind of took it above and beyond for me, because the ads and stuff, honestly, really didn't do a whole lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of, it's like, oh, look, it's Herman's Head, for anybody who remembers that show.
I do.
But what was exceptional, and you know, ultimately, I think Pixar, I don't know if Pixar needed this movie, but it's good that we have it. So Pixar kind of, you know, has that allow me to reintroduce myself sort of moment where it's like, no. Nobody brings brilliance to simple stories like we do. Nobody can do smart yet accessible like we do. And this is really almost its greatest challenge. Because effectively, it's a meditation on who we are, how we become who we are, how our memories shape our personality and dictate our personality far more than even our emotions do, right? Which are personified, leading to, you know, with the opposite end of it is moral bankruptcy, right? And hinting at real world trauma, you know, the likes of which is really not very pleasant to think about. Also, it's a kids movie.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, kids will love it. It's weird because I came away thinking, and I was talking to Wendy about this. She hasn't seen it yet because it's not easy to get to where she is in Sweden. But it is like an actual metaphor, not just a goofy metaphor, but an actually well-made metaphor for cognitive science. Like there's real meat to it, and it's colorful and it's fun and jaunty and times slapsticky and sometimes extremely emotional and all these things. It's got all the stuff you want out of your movie, but the actual structure of it is an extremely great metaphor of brain science. And I came out of there going, yeah, that's holy shit. Why don't you show that in schools and stuff like that? It's genuinely an educational experience in a lot of ways.
By the way, some critics have kind of knocked it for that it is like, you know, an extended educational film, you know, that is stretched to feature length. I thought it worked exceptionally well as just a science fiction film, as just a, you know, that first act is effectively, I mean, like, it is such a steep climb for that movie because they basically have to explain these entire rules to you, all of them, and they are invented. This is an invented universe where, you know, you got to wonder, okay, wait, can these characters walk through walls? You don't know, right? Like, how are we supposed to know? This is a totally invented universe. It's got to do all that, and it does, and it tells you every single rule of this universe while giving you slapstick, you know, comedy and one-liners to kind of cover it, you know, to have that be the spoonful of sugar.
Yeah, it's I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. There are 192 total reviews, 188 are fresh, giving it a 98% fresh rating, which is, you know, huge. I want to know who these lifeless 4 people are. Who are these people with no look? I realize life is subjective, and so is our entertainment. But these 4 people are sad, and I feel sad for them. I mean, how could you be negative about a movie like this? I walked away from this thing thinking, like, I had real emotional distress about, I don't want to spoil things, but the last bits before the turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, this idea,
it gets real.
Yeah, what they were illustrating there from an adult perspective is really haunting, because this is grimy bus. This is unknown. This is no money. This is too young girl. This is a million things pop into your head as someone who stresses about his own daughters. And I really was into it. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. And the way they were illustrating what that means in the head, just really freaking effective. If you can't watch that and not be struck by it, then you're a lifeless sack of jelly beans.
By the way, when traffic's really bad, that's the exit I take to go back home.
Is it?
Yeah, they did a really, really good job of representing San Francisco.
That's funny. Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Because they're in Emeryville right across the bay.
I was going to ask.
Funny. That's probably the exit that most people who work at Pixar when they're in San Francisco take to go home, or live in San Francisco take to go to work.
And the movie also effectively made me kind of want to live in Minnesota, and I've never had that thought in my life before, so there's that.
No, it did. It did a great job of doing that. All right, real quick end cap on the Inside Out discussion. Yeah. Pete Docter.
Yeah.
Where is he now in terms of, like, the best guy to do it currently?
He's the best guy. Think about it. So Monsters, Inc., one of the most emotionally resonant films they've made. Freaking Up, first 10 minutes are among the best in animated cinema history, and the rest of it's great and delightful and wonderful. And then this thing, I think he's their guy. He's their new guy.
Well,
he has to be their new guy.
Toy Story 3.
Yeah. Oh wait, he did that? Pete Docter did that, or was he just
directed Toy Story 3?
Oh well, then again another giant hit.
Or no, wait a minute. No. Sorry, no. I think he wrote Toy Story.
Oh, all right. Well, but again, speaks to his.
I'm making all of this up. He didn't do anything with Toy Story 3.
He did something with Toy Story 1. He was like supervising animating something.
Yeah. Okay. So Monsters Inc. Up, Inside Out.
Yeah. I don't know what his next thing is, but I can't wait because I think he's the guy. He's the voice.
Yeah, I mean he's where John Lasseter was, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't you think he's the one holding the torch? He's the guy that says, guys, we don't have to make stuff about talking lizards or even though they got a dinosaur one coming, but like we don't have to always be the one making a Cars sequel. We don't have to be pandering to what we think kids are going to flock to because there's robots or screaming aliens or whatever. Sometimes we can take subtle life things and turn them into these movies. I mean, what was Up if not a movie about death and coming to terms with things and love and transcending time? And there's so much more there than just guy with a house with a bunch of balloons attached to it. It's this artifice for something deeper. He's really got that down, man. And I want him to make all their stuff out. I'm very excited about The Incredibles. I still put The Incredibles right up there. I put Inside Out and The Incredibles in the same two seats next to each other as far as my favorite Pixar movies.
I've yet to kind of. I need to marinate on Inside Out a little bit more because I don't want to rank it right now because I think I would put it just a little bit below some of the other ones. But every day that kind of goes by, I sort of find myself. I mean, like it just shows you what a competent science fiction universe that he created. That I wonder. Oh wait, and this is. All right. Real quick spoilers. Literally, this is just going to be 5 seconds. I'm just going to say one sentence. So just cover your ears or take your earbuds out or turn down your radio for 5 seconds.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If Bing Bong makes it out of the canyon when she's older, does she create Bing Bong in the real, like, does she create a children's show?
That's a great question. My daughter would love that question because she was so upset I could barely console her during that scene.
And that's what's amazing.
Yeah.
What's amazing is like, okay, wait, all these, and this is so rare in movies that the rules mean something. It's not like at some point Joy and Sadness just found we found the make things better button.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yeah.
Like everything means something.
Yeah.
Every element of it affected her personality, and that was just great.
Yeah, and this the sadness and joy and how they have to work together, and joy being completely cocky about how it's supposed to go versus seeing how it really that stuff's freaking brilliant. And this is when they're at their best. The Incredibles is not about superheroes. The Incredibles is about family and how to keep family together. That's simply the message. They've got everything else on top of it. It's a wonderful cake with great frosting, and it's true across the board. They do this with everything they make, and they just need to keep doing it. Just keep making that stuff, you guys. Do not turn into DreamWorks and 15 Shrek movies.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Become the thing you're meant to be.
In the chat room says Jerry needs kids to fully appreciate Inside Out. No, I cried. I was in a theater by myself and I was crying.
Yeah, I would agree. You don't have to fully appreciate it. Having kids doesn't make you fully appreciate it. All having kids does, in my opinion, with a film like this, is just amplify it. That's all.
I don't think I could handle it. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
It was just too much.
It was really hard for me. Because I gotta tell you, I mean, we had the discussion. This doesn't spoil anything, but the discussion her parents had near the end, the final discussion, the important one. That I've had that very conversation with my oldest daughter when she was about that age after a move, very almost to the word. So it's so much of it resonated. It's freaking fantastic. Go see it. Quit wasting your time with stupid movies. Just kidding. Go see Fury Road and then see this. They're the two best movies of the year.
Great summer for movies.
Yeah, it's really good so far. like kind of stoked about how well it's going. Good year for video games too. Real quick, the Heroes of the Pants. People have been asking about this. The Heroes of the Pants tournament, the Heroes of the Storm tournament we're running here at Frog Pants. Team signups are up. That means you as team captain, whoever you are out there, pick your team captains and have him go here and sign up. All the rules are there. The prizes are listed. It's at frogpants.com/heropants. We have like a week and a half or something until actual play begins, and we want you in there. We're going to first come, first serve till we get to 32 teams. We're getting close, so if you want in, get in. We're very excited. So there's that. All right. Daryl time. Let's call Daryl.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Hold on. Here we go. Bringing him in, doing the thing. Sorry, I was less prepared than... Okay, here we go. It is Stump a Trek Nerd, brought to you by...
Dyslexia is a difficult challenge for any child or adult. Provided the right teaching and amount of time, any student can overcome this learning disability and go on to become whatever they dream. Let us help your student achieve their personal educational goals. TheLiteracyTutor.com improves literacy skills for at-risk, at-level, and advanced students, as well as those with learning disabilities with using the latest technology. With proven methods of Lexia learning combined with available one-on-one tutoring, The Literacy Tutor improves English literacy and reading comprehension. Check us out, TheLiteracyTutor.com today. And remember, if you can read, you can do anything.
Anything. Daryl, can you read, Daryl?
I read you.
Oh, good.
Over.
You can read us? Good. You can do anything, it turns out. Daryl, hi. How are you? What's going on?
I'm good.
Yeah? You doing all right? You had a good weekend?
I'm getting old here waiting, but yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
What, do you think we're starting late? Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, we're starting a little late, but I knew this would be
well,
that.
Listen, you know, here's a shock. My segment went long.
I don't want to blow anybody's mind or anything, but went
Sorry,
a little long.
Daryl.
So, Daryl, we got a Star Trek question for you after that Doctor Who business last week. Are you feeling like you're ready to dive back into Star Trek?
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
and the instance is going to be at the thing.
At the what thing? Which thing?
At the Nerdtacular.
Oh yeah, we did.
The
Yeah,
instance. I should do the tip giver thing.
Oh, you totally should. We should have you pop up and go, here's a tip, and then give some sort of tip. We'll talk about that. That's an old reference. People who have not listened to the instance in a while have no idea what we're talking about. But Daryl used to do a tip giver's tip of the week, and this is what I love. He did it because you were annoyed. Now stay with me, people. I know this sounds crazy, but Daryl was annoyed at the things that people who called in end of show tips on the instance would do kind of all the time, or do wrong, or kind of the stereotypes that would come out of that. And so Daryl started sending in these comedy-based tip givers tips for people who were going to give tips.
Yeah.
And it was the snake eating itself for sure. We always enjoyed it. All right, Daryl, here's your question. I'm going to lay right into it. It's a Next Generation episode question written by Iceworm, and it goes like this. In the Next Generation episode, Imaginary Friend, the Enterprise explores a nebula, and a young girl's imaginary friend becomes real.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. This is one... By the way, the guy that played Bing Bong, Richard Kind, also played the brother Grasshopper in Bug's Life. That was all goofy. He's great. He spit on me in Chicago, and not on purpose.
We're like front and center of a Second City show. Right?
That's exactly right. In 1988, I was in a Second City show in Chicago, and he was in that troupe, and nobody knew who he was then. He was just a dude. And by the way, everybody else in his group totally went on to nothing. He's the only one that came out of that one. But I was right in front, and he was doing an improv, and he spit on me by accident. And I remember thinking, wow, I hope that guy gets to be somewhat famous, and he did. He also signed a sketchbook of a drawing I did of him that same year. I was like 18, so there you go.
Oh, neat.
There you go. Further cement your artist island.
I guess so. I'm just building it up slowly. Put another brick in the wall, you might say. Daryl, where was I? Oh, this is one of the worst episodes ever, says Mike. I'd rather watch Sub Rosa than this. Anyway, the girl talks to Guinan, and she tells the girl about her imaginary friend from when she was young. Her friend was an animal. What kind of animal does Guinan say her imaginary friend was?
Ooh.
Was it Baku pterodactyl? I don't know what that is. Baku pterodactyl? That's A. B. Tarkasian razor beast. C. Calarian wildebeest. I don't think that's spelled right. It's spelled wrong. Or D. Plygorian mammoth. I swear he's just doing this to dick with me.
Oh, him?
Yeah, no, never, right? So those are your options. Think real hard about them. But before you tell us that, you've probably prepared a little Star Trek Today in History something. So what do you got?
Oh, yeah. On this day in 1984, President Ronald Reagan watched Star Trek III, The Search for Spock in the White House.
Why? What? Why was that a thing? Why did anyone talk about that? Was that a thing then?
Yeah, I guess Star Trek III came out and he watched it in the White House.
So...
Well, it just shows you what passed for news before we had the news.
I guess so. That seems like a strange thing. Do we know if he enjoyed it?
I don't know.
This isn't as good as Wrath of Khan, but it's sure better than motion picture, he said.
At least he saw it.
Well, now I was disappointed where they went with the plot.
Why, back in my acting days, I would have been a much better Spock.
Who do you think, Daryl? Who do you think if Ronald Reagan took somebody's role in the original?
Uh-oh. What happened? What happened, Skype? Hold on.
Oh, am I gone?
Nope, you're all back. Hello?
Oh,
For a second there, I had no audio, and I don't know why. Can everyone hear me?
That might have been you, because I heard him.
Oh, you could hear him? Okay. That must have been me. I don't know what happened there. Sorry.
No, that's great. No, Ronald Reagan as McCoy is great. That's inspired.
Yeah, why not, right? if you're gonna pick a guy, like who would be
Yeah, I know what he'd say. Spock would say something, and he'd say, "Well, there you go again."
That's pretty good. It's pretty good, Daryl. All right, back to this. Well, good for the White House. I assume they have their own screening room, probably.
Well, yeah. I mean, the reason why that was a much bigger deal back then was because the studio actually had to send them the film.
Oh, right.
Like now, you can. I mean, White House probably has the digital projector, like most theaters do, and they can just, beep, bop, boop, get it off Pirate Bay, and all of a sudden you're watching whatever movie you want.
That's a good point. So back in the day, somebody had to rush over a case with that big reel-to-reel.
Oh no, it was like a big thing, and like the president of the studio came out and did a secret handshake. And...
Right, cigar, all that. I can picture it in my head now. All right, what was that sound? Hold on. That might explain why. I think I had just had a lightning strike or something that may have just done the weirdest thing. Anyway, we're still recording. Everything's fine. Internet's up. We don't care. Daryl, what do you think of this question? Where's your head at? A, B, C, or D?
Oh, who knows? The dumb question, or not dumb questions, the dumb episodes, I kind of forget about them, as we probably all do. So then I don't remember anything about them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I think it's between B or D.
B or D? B being Tarkasian razor beast, or D being Plygorian mammoth.
So this is supposed to be Guinan's imaginary friend?
Yeah, she had an imaginary friend back in the day. Yeah. I would have said Ted Danson, but that's a terrible joke. No one remembers their relationship, so this is a terrible joke.
Well, I do, and it's still not funny.
Boom.
Drop the mic.
Okay.
That was good.
I'm going to say... Oh, but Mammoth, though.
Right?
Wasn't she in a movie as a mammoth or something?
What? No. You're thinking of... No, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, you're thinking of... You're mixing up Ice Age with her role on The Lion King as one of the hyenas.
No, I knew she was the hyena. I thought she was also a mammoth.
Was she a mammoth? Maybe she wasn't a sequel. I never saw any of those sequels.
Well, maybe I am mixing something up.
Speaking of animated movies that don't resonate like Pixar movies do. They're okay. They're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fine. They're good for what they are.
Yeah. I mean, kids love them. My kids loved those Ice Age movies, but they didn't hit me with the same impact.
All right, so B and D, is there anything that speaks out to you about a Tarkasian razor beast or a Plygorian mammoth?
Now that I think about it, not really.
They sound like kinds of tumors, don't they?
Yeah. The razor beast sounds dangerous.
Yeah, you don't want that.
You'd shave with that.
Yeah.
If you had nothing else.
Uh-huh.
How about a wildebeest?
You deserve a razor beast.
That's right. What'd you say, Daryl? What about the what?
What kind of wildebeest was it?
It's sorry, it was a, where did it go? It is the Kalarian.
Lauren.
Oh.
Lauren wildebeest.
Kalaran.
Oh
thank
no,
you.
it's not. Can't be that. I don't know why. It just doesn't-
Baku pterodactyl was the first one.
Yeah.
No, that just fly away and you'd be done.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that.
He also wrote Brian Dunaway's favorite next to it. I don't know why. I don't get the reference.
Someone, let's get to the bottom of this.
All right.
Why is this pterodactyl so beloved by the only Brian who didn't flee the country this
Yeah,
week?
what's going on, South Carolina, Brian? I think he's listening. He may be able to pipe in the chat. We'll find out. Anyway, I feel
Okay.
like you're still feeling B or D, though, right?
Yeah, but I think she played a mammoth in something. She had to have.
Okay.
Am I not Ice Age?
I don't know.
There were two.
One of them
mammoths.
was that.
Yeah, one of them was that guy.
Yeah.
And who was the other one?
I think there
The
was.
other one was Queen Latifah.
Oh.
Oh, that's what you're
okay.
doing. You're getting your black lady actresses mixed up.
I'm in trouble.
I
now.
see what you're doing.
Send your hate mail too. Okay, well, now I really don't know then. Oh shoot, I gotta pick one. I'm gonna pick the Razor Beast.
The Razor Beast, you say. B is what you're saying.
I guess.
Well, maybe you get it right. I don't know. Let's find out.
Congratulations.
Oh, Daryl.
You're a winner.
Good Lord, you are a winner. That is the correct answer. Guinan tells this girl that this was her imaginary friend. Here's a clip of her describing this animal for all of us to hear. Here you go.
It was a Caucasian razor beast. It had dark brown fur and gold eyes and huge spiny wings. And it would fly past so fast nobody could see it but me.
Oh, wow. All right.
Oh, what a dumb episode.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty
And
bad.
then she served someone their drinks off her really flat hat.
Yeah. All made of felt. I was always thought of felt when I saw her as a
Hey,
kid.
by the way, perfect week, Daryl. Congratulations.
Yeah, way to go. You nailed it.
Is it? Wow.
Because it's the only episode you're doing this week. 1 for 1, baby. Nice job. Daryl.
of course it is. There wasn't one.
Of course so. Daryl's the Trek Nerd. You can find him on Twitter at the Trek Nerd. He's also at This Week in Trek at thisweekintrek.com and the Grumpy Cast, and he will be at Nerdtacular for both TMS proceedings, Grumpy Cast episode, and I'm sure other things. So come on down, you hear? Daryl, why don't you play a little game with Justin and I now before you go?
Okay. Is this a... Oh, well, we're doing leftovers due to a short week.
All right.
Is this a Star Trek game or actual goose?
Okay, hold on. I want to give you... I want a cool intro for this. Here we go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
What was it? Actual goose? What? What did you say?
Star Trek game or actual goose?
All right, Star Trek game or actual goose?
All right.
Tongo.
Tongo. The Tongo goose. Yeah. Here we see the Tongo goose slowly sitting on its egg.
All right. And so Star Trek game, like a game where, all of a sudden Riker sits weird in a chair and he's like, the game is Tongo.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Both of these sound right to me, so I don't know where to go with this. Any leanings, Justin?
I'm going... where are geese indigenous? Because if they're indigenous to island place, then maybe like...
Oh, you think Tongo sounds
islands,
yeah,
right?
Sounds a little islandy, yeah, for sure. If it's a goose, yes, I would agree with that. But I don't know where they're dominant or from or any of that. I know there's one that hates me and lives about 50 feet from here, but other than that,
I know that all I do is dodge goose poop when I run around Lake Merritt.
right?
It is rich,
Yeah.
rich. It's natural resource. Goose poop.
Yeah, there is by the lake. We have a path around the whole thing, and it's covered in little green splotches of goose poop.
Yeah. Let's say. I feel like we've talked enough about geese. I feel like this is a goose.
Okay, I'm down with it. Goose. We say goose.
Okay. If you were to see this goose and chase it, it would lead you to a Ferengi card game that
Damn it.
uses a roulette wheel.
Damn it! Freaking got us.
Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
It's the news brought to you by... It's your turn.
The LARP Book Podcast has reached episode 10. We have had some amazing guests on the show, like our very own Bill Chinbeard Duran talking props and armor building. Also, Elizabeth, John, and Benjamin from Geek and Sundry's LARP, the series. listen to us answer some LARP questions in hypothetical help. Sorry, Scott, nicked this idea before you brought it back. And why not come visit us over at larpbook.com. Join Stuart, Rob, Luke, and Ketchup on the other episodes. Join us here, larpbook.com, facebook.com/larpbook, iTunes, search for LARPbook, and live streaming over at twitch.tv/larpbook. Catch us on YouTube.
Man, LARPing, still a threat. Still a thing.
And it should be.
Yeah, I agree. It's fine. We have a local chapter of some sort of LARPer organization people who are constantly at a local park tearing it up, man. Ripping it apart. Thanks, honey. My wife just brought me, what is this? Oh, lovely. Thank you. It's all green. Look at this, everyone. Eating healthy. Let's get into it. Here's some... So I've been utterly just destroyed and pissed about this Charleston shooting, as many of us have been. Just a horrible event and all of that. But I had this thing that I normally wouldn't even bring up on this show because the tone of TMS doesn't usually support such things. But I'm so bugged by this, I just have to bring it up. And if you want to hear my real feelings on all of this, not that these are fake feelings, but, you know, me going deeper into it, listen to Diary of a Cartoonist at frogpants.com/diary. The latest episode 223 goes into depth as to how I feel about it. Anyway, this has now been stated across many news outlets. The Charleston gunman, Dylan Storm Roof, almost didn't end up shooting everyone because, quote, everyone was so nice. So let me get this straight. Kid wants to create a race war. Has it in his head that... Oh, we could go deep, but I'm not going to. It has it in his head he needs to do this. For some reason, he has got a mandate that this is his job and he's got to do this. He picks the nicest group of people possible who, when confronted with a weapon, remain nice, are trying to accept him and let him in to try to help this kid, and then still decides to shoot and kill 9 people. I just cannot get my head around it. I understand that they're not everybody was nurtured with a foundation of caring about other people, and that not everybody has I guess a respect for human life regardless of race or whatever. But what's up with this kid?
You want to know why? And this is something that I've said on the Jury podcast. I really have zero interest in going into his motivations.
I guess so.
Like,
yeah.
I think we have this weird fetishization of the mind of killers, because we as human beings are pattern recognizing creatures. We get really freaked out when we don't see, when we see remainders, when we see outliers.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's curiosity, other times it's fixation. And I don't know what we gain by understanding anything more than just parsing out that he is a guy who did this horrifying act and eradicated the lives of, people that up until their death, literally, showed nothing but kindness and charity to a stranger.
Yeah.
It's infuriating, and I think this on a weird level is almost cleaner than you sometimes get with these stories where, this guy was a white supremacist who was on white supremacist message boards and said he did it to start a race war. As far as mass murderers go, he's fairly straight down the line. Right?
It's cut and dry. You're not thinking. Yeah, you're not digging. You don't have to dig too deep to figure out that he is just a horrible person and his motives were bad.
Well, and you know exactly what it is, right?
Right.
But if he were more complicated, it wouldn't change the fact that I don't care about him.
Yeah.
And I believe that the world that has created him is one that, to be honest, this is what I love so much about Nerdtacular, and what I love so much about the Tadpool and stuff is that there is just this idea of inclusion beyond surface level stuff, and the more that we can foster those communities and try to spread that is what I care about. I don't care about this kid. I care about the people who died.
Yeah.
But whether or not this kid, what he says now, what he did in the past, what his MySpace profile looked like, whatever website he used to post to, like, I don't think we're going to discover much more in life about him.
Well, you're right about the human. I don't know if it's a need, but the human tendency to want to get answers for everything, and that we're all about pattern recognition. When that pattern's broke, we tend to, freak out. We want to understand why. But it is interesting that there is this line between that and kind of the true crime, I don't know, the over focus on the guy. And I really hope that we don't over focus, but I do think it comes from a basic human desire to understand, like, what the crap happened.
Yeah. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, there's a reason why we are so fascinated about, but why, the true murder networks exist, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that anybody's bad for focusing on them, but with this kind of stuff, with these big national stories, when it's more than just a niche, I want to seek out this because my curiosity is truly something that I I want to understand more. I'd rather the amazing the people that died to me are, that's a story.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. So screw this guy and don't care. I just it's hard. I guess part of it hits me in a weird way because I have a daughter who's essentially the same age as this kid, and I'm just trying to understand why is it so different. And I know the answer. Like, I don't know what his upbringing was, and like you said, we're probably not going to really ever find that out, and who cares when we do? It was probably bad. But how can it be so much disparity there? I don't know. I don't get it.
It's hard. I mean, and that's why we focus on it.
Yeah.
It's why we fixate on it, because it's hard to think, well, how different is he from me? Mm-hmm. The only consciousness we truly understand is our own.
Yeah.
And so everybody's is fascinating that's outside your own. And it's the basis of why we have friends. It's a basis of why we have loved ones. It's a basis for why we date, have sex with and marry those around us. And so when we see somebody that seems to be just on Mars, comparatively, it is human to say, well, what's up with that guy? Let me dig in to see where I went left and he went right. But I don't know how helpful it is, because I think we just get more information that doesn't necessarily lead us into smarter decisions.
And I should have warned people. By having Jury on, one of the things I really like in the space of podcasting is talking about deeper, serious issues sometimes. TMS is usually, jokey McJokey pants. But I have to admit, I kind of put this story in here because I like to talk to Jury about life issues. It's fun to me. Not fun. It's I don't know. It's fascinating.
But yeah, I mean, it's rare that you can have these kind of conversations.
Exactly, and I don't. And so I feel like even in a subconscious way, I'm taking advantage of that by inserting this monster and his story in here, so that so some of these things can be discussed and talked about. And I guess what I'm saying is I like that. And I've liked it as I've gotten older. The more interested I am in talking about the stuff that matters, like hard issues. And Jury's good for that. So if we do a little of that today, I'm just letting you know why, folks.
Just FYI.
Yeah, FYI. Know what you're getting into. Speaking of killers, this is a fictional one. Hannibal is being canceled. That's too bad for a lot of fans. People really like Hannibal. One of NBC's, I think, only bona fide
critically
acclaimed shows. Yeah. Like a show that doesn't necessarily obviously get enough ratings to justify its existence over there in its current climate, but people were impressed that it had run as long as it had, and now they are saying we're done, we're canceling it, and people are pissed. So what are you gonna do?
Brian Fuller, it wouldn't be a Brian Fuller show if it didn't get canceled too early, right?
Yeah. Well, he's off to, when he's done here, he's off to Starz to do that American Gods adaptation. So that's good. In fact, we were just talking about him last week.
So this is his resume.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder Falls, one of the original or a huge canceled too early show.
One that spelled change in television, I think. Like, people don't think about it this way, but Wonder Falls really was one of those shows where you're like, ooh, TV can be different than just, Michael Knight riding around in a talking car. Like, this can be something else, this medium. Wonder Falls is great.
Dead Like Me.
Yeah, great show.
I never got into, but I had friends that were huge into.
Great show.
Pushing Daisies.
Wonderful show.
He then goes and writes the few episodes of Heroes that were actually really good.
Yep.
And then he does Hannibal.
Yep, and he's off to American Gods and Stars, and Stars has shown at least somewhat willingness to stick with it. And also, they're being kind of daring lately. So, say what you want about Spartacus and their stuff has been a little exploitative, in my opinion, up till now. But American Gods is one of my favorite books ever, and I really have a lot of hope for this. And I like his resume, so I'm probably okay with that, him leaving and going over there. But Hannibal, man, big deal for a lot of people. They were digging it.
Well, and the rumor is maybe Netflix.
Oh, really?
Maybe Hulu. There's a lot of players in this game now that like to rescue television shows.
Yeah, remember in the old days it was like, NBC's canceling JAG. I wonder if ABC will pick it up, and that seemed just dumb. Like, what are we doing? You can't trade shows. And now it's like, no, there's so many more ways to do this now. There's cable, and then there's a million other ways to do it online, and it could easily get picked up.
Yeah,
by some hungry streamer thing,
Wait, where did JAG go? JAG started on.
Or JAG started somewhere and it ended up somewhere, but it started somewhere and went somewhere else, didn't it? I thought JAG was the one big example. Hold on, let's see.
I don't know. Let's go ahead, Tadpole. Figure out what happened to JAG.
Yeah, what the hell happened to JAG?
Get to the bottom of this JAG mystery.
Short for Judge Advocate General. Here it is. I'll find it for you right now. Here it is. Wikipedia about the show. Originally being partner. Okay, no, that's not it. Working alongside. Okay, great. Yep, I did a great job. I found it and didn't find it. It's on USA now, but I'm telling you that show used to be on a straight up ass news network thing.
Well, no, yeah, because it's not original on USA.
Oh, here it is. Okay, originally, so it's a show. Okay, here we go. First season was co-produced with NBC Productions. It first aired on NBC in September of 1995. Series was later canceled, and in May of 22nd of 96, after finishing up 79th in ratings, rival network CBS picked up the series for a mid-season replacement. Beginning 97, for several seasons, JAG climbed into the ratings, blah, blah, blah. It spawned NCIS, I didn't know that, which turned into 2 other NCIS shows. In total, 222 episodes. That's it. And now it's in syndication on USA. So there you go. That's what it was. NBC to CBS.
There we go.
Which was real weird at the time. Nobody did that very often. Nowadays, hey, if your show gets canceled, you might just have a new life somewhere.
Welcome.
Good luck.
JAG.
Good luck. I'm going to skip this one because for time, and also it's kind of weird. And then also, I'm going to read this one. Taylor Swift has now become Lord of all things. She has fixed Apple Music, according to some, and now people want her to solve the rest of the world's problems. So, she appears to have swayed Apple in their decision to have their free trial time not pay artists until people actually signed up for the service. They've switched their thinking after she said, well, I'm not putting my music over there then. Sorry. And she published that criticism. Didn't like it. Basically, the company has made a U-turn, and now she's considered the most powerful person in music. Here's my question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
Do you think... I don't think it was her sitting behind probably a Mac, writing this letter. I think it was her people, right? The singers don't do this stuff, do they?
No. I think Taylor Swift has demonstrated that this is kind of her thing.
Because of the Spotify deal and all that?
Yeah, it didn't read to me like it was overly, parsed. If anything, if you really want to get loose change about this, you have effectively created a gigantic amount of free publicity, which highlights everything that Apple Music wants to be highlighted in its launch.
Yeah.
A, it pays artists.
Yeah.
B, it is not entrenched and represents a new era for streaming music, not only for consumers, but also for artists.
Yeah.
And C, and maybe most important, it has Taylor Swift's music on it and will at launch. So if you wanted to be a conspiracy theorist, which I do not subscribe to, you would have enough evidence to say this was a collusion between Apple and Taylor Swift, where, you know, Taylor makes a big deal, Apple on Eddie Q's Twitter, for of all things, you know, decides to say like, yep, no, we reverse course. What I suspect happened is that Apple goes to the labels and says, all right, well, you want to know what? Let's figure out how much the money's going to be. Let's figure out how much you're getting paid. Let's figure out all this. They hammer out all these deals. And at some point, as a negotiation back and forth, somebody agrees that they are going to have the first 3 months not be paid.
Yeah.
Right? Either it's Apple demanding it as part of a larger negotiation, or it's a concession that the labels give to Apple.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift finds out, whoa. T Swift's not getting her money? You know, hold on. Let me take to my Tumblr real quick. Writes out that little thing. It becomes a big issue, and Apple's like, whoa. Number one, who said anything about Taylor being upset? Whatever she wants, she gets. We're Apple. By the way, we have so much money. It started to become its own, basically in a bank, it has created its own species of creature. And now Apple money, you know, has its own functioning democracy somewhere in a bank.
Right. Right.
So they're like, yeah, whatever. We can peel off a little chunk of change for these artists. Fine. It'll just come out of our pocket. Taylor Swift's happy. And, you know, she hasn't said it, but now she has to put her albums on there, right?
Yeah, I think that's the deal. Isn't that the deal? if they reverse course, then yeah, you're right. They haven't said it. Here's the deal as far as I know it.
She would look really bad.
Oh, yeah, it'd look real bad. So I think the deal is she reverses her position now that they've reversed theirs, but she'll be required by some contract to change her lyric to be, Apple's gonna pay. See, I waited, but I finally got to that stupid joke.
That's fine, man. You worked hard for it. It was that joke. You worked so hard for that joke, it broke a sweat.
I know. I feel kind of sick now, a little sick. Yeah, we don't know if she's gonna switch back, but I'm sure she probably will. If she doesn't, then yeah, whatever. And I've also found there's something about a photographer's email that's suddenly casting
So basically, a photographer's like, "Whoa, hold on, T Swift, you all of a sudden got this problem about people not getting paid. How about this? You have a contract that people who work for you as concert photographers got to basically hand over their pictures. How about that?
That's some hypocrisy there, they say. That's what they say.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, you know, Taylor, no, that's where I feel like it's probably more Taylor Swift, the person, probably has more, you know, invested in like, oh, well, artists get paid than Taylor Swift, the organization. And that feels like more of an organizational move. I don't think Taylor Swift is sitting behind a mahogany desk saying like, Mo, I know how we'll save money by ripping off the photographers. So, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if Taylor Swift, you know, makes some...
I made just a terrible error just now of looking at her face in a photo trying to track down this article while you did that voice, and now I can't. They're together at last. It'll never be separated.
I have a blank space, baby, and I'll write your name.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, good luck to everybody involved. May all your music issues work themselves
Are you getting Apple Music? Are you getting on Apple Music?
I totally am. I'm in that ecosystem, and it makes sense for me. I think that I've really enjoyed Rdio while I've had it. I never liked Spotify, but I will likely cancel Rdio and move to this because it makes more sense for me. So
yeah, Rdio.
Rdio selection's just not the best. It's okay, but it's not. It's
all right.
Yeah.
But also, do you have this problem where like it doesn't start playing songs immediately?
Yeah, it'll be like a weird blank space, and then suddenly the song's going. Yeah, I don't like it. And there's also sometimes hitches in the middle, like a song with a perfectly fine connection. There's some weird stuff going on with them. I like them, you know, being able to sync the music to the thing so I can take it on a long trip and not worry about, you know, data and all that. There's a lot of things to like, but I don't know. Just feel like they're not with it enough, and this appears to be a gigantic move from Apple to reestablish a foothold in music outside of the download a song for 99 cents world and into the streaming world. So I'm going for it. Sure, why not? Why the hell not?
Yeah, no, I'm totally in. I'm actually pretty excited for it. Just because I think that I hope they're going to get streaming music right. Although,
are you sad Tidal didn't end up winning the fight?
We might be selling ourselves a bill of goods here, because the one thing Apple has never gotten right is web services.
Yeah, true.
This is a web service.
True. This is a make or break on that front. If they want to have a hand in it, they got to do this right. So I'm anxious to see how it pans out. What's the launch on that? I don't even know. When's that happening?
The 30th.
Okay, so it's soon. Better cancel the ye old family plan I have over there on Apple.
I know.
Or
I'm
on,
going to bring it because Ardio's headquarters is like 3 blocks from my house. I'm going to make a big ceremony of it.
You should walk over there and throw your phone at them.
Yeah. I mean, it would really. I feel like it would be a good deal for them. Like, they'd be able to resell my phone on Gazelle. You know.
Yeah, they don't lose in that scenario. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, Fitness Geek. Yeah, he'll be here. I think. I don't know. He may be there right now. I don't know. But we're gonna play some music before that. Before all that, though, I got to tell you about our friends at Squarespace, where they want to give you 10% off your account. Why? Because Squarespace is the place to make rad stuff. Let's say I wanted to make a website all about Taylor Swift and then make her mouth move like animated and put that voice that Justin had on there. In fact, Tadpool, you got a job to do. Take that audio, excise it out of the show, go find a nice video of Taylor Swift, and then match Justin's audio with her face. And then I'll build a fan page around that, and I'll do it at squarespace.com.
Can't you see you belong with me?
So go there, try it. Tools, templates, responsive design, everything you need at squarespace.com. Use the code MORNING at checkout. Get 10% off after your free trial. That's 10% off with the code MORNING at squarespace.com. We'll be right back in a second with What's His Beak with Bill. Before that, though, Brian usually brings songs that people request, and they always have some story about why it matters to them and why it's a big deal. It's their anniversary, or it reminds me of my dad, or whatever it is. No. That's not what we're doing today. Today, I'm playing the cheesy stuff, all right? I really like these songs that Brian actually first introduced me to, which are year-end mashups, and you've heard them on the show before, some of them anyway, by DJ Earworm. And they're the United States of Pop. 2013 is the first one I'm going to play. This is 2013's best, most famous, popular songs in the top 40, mashed up into what he calls Living the Fantasy. And we're going to play that now, and we'll be back in a minute, so stay tuned.
Ago, waking up to ash and dust, ashes on the ground. I still hear the song. Life will pass me by if I don't open up my eyes, so that's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, don't you worry, and I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself and I didn't know I was wrong. And we'll never be wrong. I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. They tell me I'm too young to understand, too young, too dumb to realize. Round and around and around we go. It's a revolution, I suppose. Tell me now, tell me now, tell me now, you know. And we'll never be wrong. Your friends and I, we've cracked the code. Just make me know. In a torn up town, we've
What happened? Gosh dang it. Hold on. We had a problem. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Hold on. Hang on a second. Sheesh. What the crap? All right. Well, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a major glitch. Hold on.
What happened?
I don't know. I've got this thing where I get these occasional lockups. It's super rare, like every 2 weeks, but when it happens, it's just like devastating. I lose everything. But I didn't lose the show. The show's still here. I've got this great way of keeping all that. So hold on a second. Yeah, so I'm just going to mark that. And that way I'll put it in post. Sorry, chat room. You guys never left. Everything's fine. Let me get to where we can come back. All right. That's annoying. Okay, here we go. Hang in there. Starting it again in 3, 2, 1.
Creativity can be fun with Crayola crayons and Crayola markers. Why Crayola markers? Here's our point. Skinny at the end, fat on the sides. So you can make broad strokes and thin lines. You can draw or write. We made our point so you can make your point. Crayola markers in a rainbow of colors. Crayola markers are a product of Binney & Smith. Crayola crayons and Crayola markers are sold separately. Crayola means creativity.
Chicken shit money.
This is the morning stream.
And we're back. That's never happened in a song before. So I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Brian,
Well,
Brian leaves, everything goes to shite. There you have
we're
it.
just done with 2014.
I guess so. It's the way this train rolls, everybody. Thank you all for hanging in there. Thank you for being here. People at home have no idea. I fixed all this in post, so you thought everything went great. And that's all that matters, really. Let's get our friend Bill Duran in here. Or our Bend. I don't know. Call him whatever. Here he comes. See if I can find a little theme for him. I've got something new for him today. Hi, Bill.
Howdy.
You want to hear a new theme for you?
Do I ever?
Here it goes. Hold on. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Bill Duran, we haven't seen you in a week, and it makes me feel bad. I like to be with you. I like to be around you. And thanks for joining me and Justin today. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. Went outside. Just got back from a walk outside in nature.
Yeah. How'd that go?
It's gorgeous out. It's so nice out.
That's good.
How are things where you guys are?
Well, I don't know. How are you, Justin?
Apparently it's snowing where Justin is because he's got that hat on.
Yeah, my hair's a mess. It's a tangled mess of bramble and lies, so I decided to cap it off like that oil spill.
Was that photo I saw of you over the weekend your actual brother that you put up? You said, hey, I found my brother or something.
No. It's a metaphorical brother of mine that I've known since he was my first friend at when I moved to a new high school.
Oh, wow.
And now he lives in New York, and I ran into him at a wrestling show.
Was it completely random that you ran into him, or did you aim for a hookup?
Yes and no. Like, I knew he was a fan of that, and I texted him, and he actually, like, didn't get back to me. I was like, hey, man, are you going to be at this wrestling show? And he's like, yeah. And then I'm like, I'll be there in all caps. And that was the end of the text message thread for an entire week.
Oh, wow. You probably thought, this isn't going to go well.
Crickets. And then eventually I was like, so by the way, what are you getting there? And anyway.
Well, the reason I asked is there was some resemblance. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, well, he's Armenian and I look ethnically ambiguous. So any kind of nationality or ethnicity that involves a lot of hair and dark features, I look like.
All right, well, there you have it. Bill, I'm glad you walked. I'm glad you're here. That means fitness is on your mind. What do you got for us this week?
Oh yeah, hey, let's talk about body shaming. Does that sound good?
Yeah, why not? Sure. I do it every day when I look.
Good idea.
I look in the mirror and I go, ugh, look at that guy. Sure.
Apparently, there was some big old snafu on Reddit about them banning a bunch of like subreddits where people were like hating on different people because of their body shape. So I figured it was relevant.
Sure.
I also read this article all about it on nerdfitness.com.
That's a place you can go. Oh, you've told us about this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good place.
Yeah.
My favorite part is they're talking about body image and they said, you should look like this. And they have a picture of Kirby, the pink cream puff. That makes me happy.
Yeah, wonderful.
Anyway, essentially, I mean, the whole gist of the article is like your opinion of the way that someone else's physique looks is irrelevant. So you should probably just keep it to yourself. It's kind of the gist of it. Because we all come in different shapes and sizes. Scott and I are two very differently shaped human beings.
That's true.
Justin and I are more similarly shaped, but that doesn't matter.
You're both You're both much hairier than I am.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get it.
Right.
Let me give you a really great example. So a couple of years ago, I wanted to do a Wolverine costume. You know, the snicked bub guy from comic book history. Anyway, I did the
Michigan mascot.
I just wanted to be clear. Everyone knew I was not donning a furry costume. I was, in fact, dressing up as a mutant.
Sure.
Anyway, I wanted to wear like a tank top and kind of be like a fit dude. So I literally worked my butt off. I dropped like 20 pounds before I went out in public wearing only a tank top and a set of claws and pants. I had pants on too.
Good.
And I felt great about myself. I was like, oh man, I mean, I wasn't Wolverine shaped. I wasn't Hugh Jackman shaped. I felt really good about myself. I worked really hard for that. And while I was at the comic convention, where someone asked for a picture, I was standing there and some dude out of nowhere goes, oh, hey, Wolverine, what happened to all your muscles?
Oh, man. I don't like this. This is not nice.
No, and the worst part was this guy was massive. Yeah. He was like really, really big dude. I didn't comment on his physique. I kept it to myself.
Sure.
I could have fired back with a joke about the Blob. I could have done that.
Right.
But I'm a decent human being, so I kept it to myself.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times when stuff like that happens, the intent, even from that person, oftentimes, and that guy might have been a total jerk, but he might think it is more in a camaraderie element than you take it.
Right.
And you should take it because it's a really mean thing to say, but he might not mean it as mean as you think, which does not excuse it. In fact, it's just the opposite. You need to, when you are doing that calculus on what you are saying about somebody's physical appearance, camaraderie, especially for strangers, should factor very, very small into that. You know, you should think about making a good first impression, which is what builds camaraderie. Yeah. And then you can joke about whether or not, you know, Wolverine would have done more pull-ups.
Well, let me complicate the question for you. So I get heat a lot, and more often than people might think. I get emails about my comic when I draw fat guys. And I have a tendency, I don't know why, but a lot of my jokes, including the one that's up today, is usually featuring skinny guy on the left having a conversation with fat guy on the right. It's just a thing I've always done. And they're always white guys, right? So they're always just like these stereotypic fat guys. And I don't not calling them out as fat. The jokes never have to do with them being fat. It's got nothing to do with their body type ever. But I get emails angry that I'm perpetuating bad stereotypes of fat guys. Am I doing that in your estimation? When I draw a fat guy, am I part of the problem?
No. I think what you're doing is you are visually representing the vast array of human body sizes.
Sure. I'm giving you A to Z in one panel. Exactly.
Well, you know, there was that controversy with the oatmeal, because Matthew Inman, who writes the oatmeal, is like an ultra marathon runner. He is very skinny and in shape, and yet all of his representations of not only himself but pretty much every other character are these blobbish kind of like grotesqueries, like not even to say like fat, but like often drooling and spitting and burping and farting and stuff like that, and he's gotten a hypocritical thing. But it goes back to what Bill's saying, that like we all have thoughts on this, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the thoughts are not the problem. It's the expression of the thoughts.
Interesting.
Yeah. So here's the other interesting thing about this too is generally it's fat shaming is what we hear about. But people get shamed for any deviation from the norm as far as body shape is concerned. So overweight people get shamed for being overweight. Really, really thin people get shamed. And like if you hear someone say, "Oh, she should eat a hamburger," like she should do whatever she wants. If she's healthy, then leave her alone.
Sure. I got called spaghetti arms most of my junior high and high school career, and I hated it. And I remember feeling like that was my number one. We talked about this with Wendy a bit last Thursday, but it was my number one thing. Was my own vision of who I was physically was constantly being defined by other people, and it really messed with my head. And it can really screw people up.
Yeah, it can.
And it doesn't take much. You can say something dumb like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something. Like somebody told Nick, this is years ago, but somebody told Nick something about his knees. And he wouldn't wear shorts for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Wow. I'm like, who told you that? And, we worked it out. He's all shorts all the time now. But you know what I mean? Like all it takes is one little comment. You can really change the trajectory, especially of young minds who don't have a good perception of what they think they are or who they should look like or what are the standards and how do I measure up to those. Like it's rough, man.
Yeah. Another good example here too is being or becoming physically fit. Some people, believe it or not, people get shamed for that too. And this is a good example of people not realizing that they might be shaming someone. This girl posted a before and after photo of herself. The before photo, she's a little overweight. The after photo, she's super in shape. She worked really, really hard to get there. And people were commenting and saying, "Oh, I really liked the before one." And what they don't realize is that she didn't like the before one. She felt terrible. Her doctor told her she was not well. And she had to make a change in her life, and she did. And people are detracting from that by saying, "I liked when you had a little more meat on your bones," sort of thing. People don't realize that. Or people who are really ridiculously muscly. Like, it's okay to get in shape, but not too in shape. It's like, hey, if that dude feels good about himself and he's healthy, then let him go get crazy muscles. Let him get all rocked up.
How much of this, though, Bill, is just an inability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes?
Like, that could be it.
Like this is like theory of the mind. This is understanding that, hey, if I say like, "Oh, you worked really hard on something," why? You were better before. Like that feels bad no matter what it is. If you build a sandcastle and you're like, "Man, why'd you do that? Sandcastle looks dumb. Like you could have just made a mound of sand like I did. Look at me." There's just a real damage that comes with stuff.
Well, and I saw there was a kid this weekend who was hanging around the house. We're kind of the Kool-Aid house, it turns out. And this kid, he says to me, we were talking about Inside Out, and I said, "Oh man, what a movie, this and that and the other." And he goes, "That looks stupid." And I go, and he's like 11. And I said, "What do you mean it looks stupid? Have you seen it?" And he goes, "No, it just looks stupid." And I said, "What do you mean stupid?" He goes, "It looks totally retarded." And, forget about the use of that word and the context and all that. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why do you think that looks stupid? And what I realized I was dealing with was, a kid who's really into sports. He's really into the things he's into. And anything that's outside of that, he's just convinced is stupid. And I remember as a kid feeling that all the time from my friends that were into football or whatever. They just made you feel like anything that wasn't in that little space was stupid. And this is not really all that different. And if people are calling out someone for being too fit, for example, saying that they're vain, like this article refers to them as vain because they're too fit, that's just people not only not willing to put themselves in somebody else's shoes or to try to see the world from eyes that aren't yours, which is a big thing, and I agree, empathy is everything, but it's also them being just mean dicks, right?
Right.
I mean, they're just being dicks. And I don't know how you get rid of those guys. They've been around forever. Not that we're here to solve that problem in this world, but
it's because they feel less than.
I guess.
Right? Like that
Could
is.
be, yeah.
That's so often what it is.
Yeah, I guess so. Like if I see, trying to think, if I saw like, we all have this tendency, right? Like, let's say I'm somewhere in public, I'm in a mall, and I'm looking for ways to justify my recent weight loss or the struggle that it's been, or I want, for whatever reason, I need to reconcile it with myself that, yeah, I'm better off than I was and I've lost 50 pounds and this and that. If I see a big 420-pound guy barely getting down the mall hallway there, what's the first thing into my head? It's probably like, whoa, that guy's huge. Hope he should be healthy or something. Like sometimes these thoughts are going to come in. But to go back to Justin's original statement, keep it to your freaking self. And it's not that you're being a jerk in your head where you're going, well, that guy's fat as hell. He better get on a treadmill. Why don't you pick up a hobby? I could do all those things out loud. And not that I'm thinking those things. But the point is sometimes just don't say it.
Yep. You don't know. He could weigh 450 pounds.
Yeah.
And last month he weighed 500.
Right. Or
he should be feeling great about it.
Or you may have a guy there, and I know people like this, who has literally a medical condition that is extremely difficult, possibly overcomable, but so hard to do so, where he's just got the wrong thyroid, this and that, chemical blah, 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 whatever it is. There are people like that. You don't know anything about that guy. It's like my dad always used to say, I don't care how bad the service is at a restaurant, you still tip him and you still be nice to him. And I used to drive me crazy. What is he talking about? And his point was, you never know where these people are in their lives. You've no idea what he's dealing with, what he's struggling with, what might be happening. It could be as simple as just a crappy waiter. That's fine. But you don't know. And because you don't know, it's incumbent upon you to not be a jackass and say things that are out of hand because you don't have the full story. I think
Even
this
if
is the
that
same.
restaurant is Hitler's Hot Wings Tavern.
Even then. Well, maybe not even then. I'm not sure I'd go
Oh, here we go.
Well,
now the excuse.
Everyone has a line.
So here, Bill, people are. I'm representing in the chat room here a few people. People just get butthurt too easy these days. What do we say to the stop being butthurt argument?
I say it's worth being a little bit more compassionate towards your fellow human beings.
Yeah.
I think it's a good story there.
I'm voting for Bill Duran.
Yeah.
For comptroller. Where do you start? But you can't go straight to president. That's a great way to put it. And chat room, you guys know that. I mean, for reals. Like, that's the thing. Because here's the thing. You've got some horrible weakness that somebody could talk about, and I don't think you'd like him to do it in public either.
I don't think it is. It's the craziest thing. I think that there's an element where the part of it's like, okay, well, there is an idea that we kind of came from a tougher age, that we all used to be kind of rawhide cowboys and we didn't care what other people thought as much and we were more singularly driven, which I think is kind of a false construct of our past. We like to remember ourselves as far tougher than we might have been. And also it's like, when somebody says something to you, a lot of times you just internalize it and it affects your life. Like, just because you don't lash out and say, hey, that hurt my feelings, doesn't mean it didn't hurt your feelings, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to have an effect on you.
Right. Maybe even a worse one, because you got to keep it bottled up, because that's how it used to be. I mean, I hate that thinking. This idea that we were something that we weren't, or we were way tougher in the past. We weren't there. We don't know what we were, because we weren't one of the people there. And so what you have is this limited context with zero sort of like nuance to it, where all you see is a big tough guy in a cowboy outfit on top of a horse living out on the range. It's not enough of the story. You don't know about his horrible, crippling depression that made him cry at the fire every night when nobody was looking. We don't know any of that stuff. You know what I mean?
I don't know why Bill told me I had a fat butt in my saddle.
I don't know. I
mean,
would
have been a little bit more considerate.
I mean, we've gotten very philosophical about the topic, but I think at its core, it's just a wise thing to do. Everything we ever learned about anything, we learned as kids, and we should just apply it. Be nice to people. You don't have to be a giant dick. Just be nice.
There you go.
There you go. Bill, always a pleasure, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got anything going on right now you want to tell the fine folks about? All right.
I'm building a space gun for a change.
Weird.
The folks over at Tested.com hired me to build a big old gun from District 9, and I'm doing that. And I've got some videos up on the YouTube, and I've got an article. I'm writing some more over on Tested.com, all about the build, all leading up to San Diego Comic-Con, which is in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say that's quick. When is the date for that? Do we know? When is that?
July 8th-ish, something like that.
Okay. Well, you'll have plenty of time to recover and come run the costume contest at Nerdtacular 2015.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be fun. Bill Duran, everybody. Chimbeard on Twitter. Stay out of trouble. We'll talk to you soon.
Toodaloo.
Bye, Billy.
Bye, Billy. Billy. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy.
Here's a great line from Jim Gaffigan on that article. He says, the most annoying are those people in exceptionally good shape at the gym. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're done. Oh, Jim Gaffigan.
That's, I'll tell you. I think I've talked about it on the show, but there was a period in which I was working in Florida, and I had a membership at 24 Hour Fitness, and I would take advantage of that and go to the gym at like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
People you see at the gym at 2 o'clock in the morning are invariably three people: bouncers who just got off of work, dudes just, they're up late, they're getting their pump on, right?
Mm-hmm.
B, people who are crazy, like morbidly obese, that want to work out outside of prying eyes, right?
Yeah.
So they're like the dudes that are, tying the trash bag to them so they're sweating extra hard. And then people that I'm going to make the assumption that they have some kind of eating disorder because they are like crazy skinny doing pull-ups like Sarah Connor in prison at the beginning of Terminator 2. But it is all people for which, aside from the bouncer maybe, that want to be working out outside of the way people are seeing them because of body image issues.
Sure, of course. I mean, nobody's immune to this, so
no.
Get your shit together.
Listen, we're all ping pong balls just bouncing off each other in one of those big bingo tumblers,
sure.
Right? Like we all affect each other constantly, and there's, as much as I think we like to pretend that we're super people or we're all John Wayne, like that's just not the case.
No. If anything, I have this constant, the diary's a good outlet for this, but I have this constant need to express the realness of life, to like get away from he's a popular podcaster man with this and that. I like to be able to go, yeah, my son had his heart broken this week because that's what happens to people, and now we're dealing with it as parents, and how are we supposed to do this? And I don't know what it is. Actually, I don't know what it is about Justin Robert Young, one of the goofiest people I know, that tends to draw this out of me when we're doing shows together. Isn't that weird?
Yes, it will all come out.
It's all weird. You're like a laxative for the brain or something. Just taking a big wet brain dump. All right.
It's a great way to put it.
We're going to close out the show today with some emails, and they're actually brought to us by somebody very special. Who is it brought to us by, Justin?
Greg Skinner wants to keep taking really great pictures at Nerdtacular, and you can help him do it. Go to GoFundMe.com/NerdtacularCamera and toss him some scratch. Again, that is GoFundMe.com/NerdtacularCamera and toss him some scratch. Greg is amazing. He's a great photographer. He does awesome stuff. And if you want, to remember this awesome convention yet to come, prepay, baby.
Did a hell of a job last year. Really good stuff. All right, I'm going to play a call. First thing we do is play a call, and it came into us from I don't know who, and I don't remember what it's about, so here it is.
Hi, my name is Patrick, and I live in Seattle, Washington.
It's from Patrick in Seattle, Washington. All right, so there you go. Here you go.
And I'm calling for TMS. I was just listening to the episode where Scott talked about how at his daughter's graduation, how they spoke her name and called her Cartier. When I graduated high school back in 2008, there was a poor soul in my class named Michael Bonner, Bohner. And it's pretty obvious what happened right when he walked up. Whoever was, announcing the names said Michael Boner. And we all had a pretty good laugh. And yeah, so just be glad that your last name's not Bonner. And as Scott says, he should just pay $20 and go change that, because that's a terrible name. All right, thanks. Love the show.
Completely agree. Isn't it Boehner? Like the guy in the Senate?
Yeah,
Or,
John Boehner is not pronounced Boner. Bonner apparently is not pronounced Boner. And only Bone. I mean, like, how many boners are there out there?
Well,
and also, like, was that like an old job, like a Cooper or a Miller?
I don't know.
Was there a boner?
Is there a boner? Like, or was it like I don't know. Mine's John's son, right? So some guy named John's his son is where mine came from. Anders' son. But where does boner come from?
Take these carpets down to the boner, Jebediah.
Toot sweet. There'll be a little something extra for you there, boner. Boner's a terrible name.
I mean, is it? I feel like I could rock a last name Boner.
You think?
If I were Justin Robert Boner, I feel like that would. I feel like I'd be better. I'd have a better career.
Yeah, my brother we had it's a dog or a cat. It's forever ago that he named Boner. So there was that.
Yeah, like people already call me Gerbs.
Do they call you Gerbs?
Oh, yeah, so I would be. It would fit. I could still be Gerbs. I wouldn't be Jury anymore, but I'd be Gerbs.
Oh wow, I don't know how I feel about that. Thanks for the call. Got another email here from Sean. Sean wrote in, says, "Dear Strip and Boing." That'd be Brian, who's not here. I have a quick story that I think Scott will empathize with. My new boss, I don't know why he thinks I will, but anyway, my new boss asked me to join him for a round of golf, wishing to build some bridges and make a good impression. I said, of course. I spent first 6 holes desperately trying to hold in a fart. On the 7th hole, my stomach made the worst gurgling noise ever, and I instantly felt my guts take a dive. I had to explain to my boss that I must abandon our round temporarily to visit the clubhouse. A seriously difficult walk to the clubhouse resulted in disaster. It was shut. What followed was 12 holes of extreme bum clenching. Not a clue how I made it home just in time. Not good. Smoke some homegrown. Sean. Wow, dude. Yeah, that's basically my nightmare scenario. But mine usually involves an airplane or some other public place where there's absolutely no options. Because here's the thing. It's never actually happened to me in that way, right? It's never gotten that bad. Well, one time at a mall. Well, there's a couple other times. But anyway, the point is this.
All right, so this guy had a few problems.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to, second guess your butthole here. But, like, first 6 holes, you're desperately trying to hold in a fart. You created this problem here, brother. You're on a golf course. All of a sudden, just be like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. I think I see a ball down there in the rough. And just leave the party for a little bit. Get that fart out. And next thing you know, you're not going to be creating this gigantic mass that's going to result in bringing up something else.
Mm-hmm.
Just never worry about the fart. The fart is never as bad as you might think. In public, in private, you can always figure out a way that you can get that fart out. It ain't healthy and it ain't right.
Yeah.
This is a message brought to you by Justin Robert.
And everyone farts. That's important to note. And
yeah, I mean, you were playing golf. You weren't at a funeral.
Right.
Just make your way somewhere where people aren't necessarily going to smell it. Aside from the fact that if you fart really, really bad and everyone's like, oh my God, you'd be like, geez, did a skunk die? Who knows?
Well, it sounds like this was a bit of an epilogue, though. Or prologue. Which is the first one? Prologue or epilogue?
Prologue starts at epilogue ends.
There you go. Prologue. It's more like a preamble, an introduction, a sign of things to come, it sounds like. This was a warning that more trouble was afoot. And so I think what he should have done, And I don't want to be gross here on the morning stream where we're never gross.
No.
Let that thing out, and then that would have been your moment where you'd know. You'd go, oh, there's a problem. And then go find something. Now, here's where he and I would have split paths. He would have gone to the clubhouse and find that it was locked and then endure the next 12 holes. Okay? I would have not done that. I would have gone to the clubhouse, known it was locked, and I would immediately looked for the place outside where nobody would be around, the best possible place. High grass, behind trees, somewhere, and I would have laid my loaf in the woods, in nature. That's what I would have done.
It's because you demonstrate a resourcefulness that that betrays the settlers of the fine West. You know, I feel like you are a true pioneersman, Scott.
Right. I mean, there are places still in Lake Powell that if you look just close enough, you might find a little burial that Scott made years ago.
By the way, laid your loaf.
Yeah.
That's an amazing turn of phrase.
Laying the loaf.
It's biblical.
I know it does. It is a little bit. Laid my man a loaf.
Corinthians 21:40.
Lay your loaf 50
and
feet.
lo, John laid his loaf amongst the people.
And the people were sore afraid.
Yeah, send your emails.
Yeah, if you're irritated with that story, you send us an email. Let us know. Actually, we'd love to read your emails on the show. We love doing that. We also like your calls. Emails come to us, themorningstream@gmail.com. On the phone number is 801-471-0462. Leave us a message. We'll play it. Thus endeth this week's only TMS episode. There's no show tomorrow or Thursday. Taking a little time off while Brian's in Japan. He'll be back, and we'll be right back at it the very following week. So looking forward to all of that. Justin, thanks for sitting in with me, man.
Oh, yeah. No, it was an absolute pleasure. And anytime that you need me to fill in, I'm always here for you.
Well, you have other cool things happening. We shouldn't let the show go without you at least pointing some people to them. So what's going on this week? What's happening?
Okay, so if you are watching this right now live, then you only have a few hours to wait. We are doing a European timed night attack.
Whoa.
So it will be very much a day attack here in America, but in the old country, we're doing a show. So it'll be 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern time, and I think that's like 9 or 10 o'clock European. Hey, Scott, did you know how screwed up European time zones are?
No, it's completely jacked. I hate it. I don't like how it works at all because I have to deal with Patrick and Terpster, and they're often on different time zones, sometimes on the same time zone. It means everything I record with them has to be in the freaking morning. It blows.
Yeah, it's crazy pants McGillicuddy with those kooky Europeans out there.
Yep.
Anyhow, so we're going to be doing it today during the day. We will have the OG Brito, Will Harris, on the show. We're going to play the Startup Spelling Bee. It'll be a fun time. And other than that, yeah, new episode of Jury up this Sunday. I'll tell you what, if you like serious topics, then come on out because I apparently have an inability to not kind of either risk my career or lay the seeds for my career ending eventually by talking about serious topics when I am certainly very rarely a serious person.
Well, it's a good heat. It's a dry heat. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So
yeah.
Go ahead and check that out, jurytalks.com, including I can't say enough about how fun it was to go out and hang with Joey Image, who I know is in the chat room right now, and see his last match with a bunch of Frog Pants people. And Scott, let me just again let you know, because I know that you are receptive to this kind of stuff. It really is an exceptional community that you have built, because I come out from California originally, but I drove 3 hours to get from New York City to Scranton, and then right back to New Jersey to fly out at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was the slouch. We had a dude drove 10 hours from Tennessee and 5 hours from Maryland. So it was a lot of commitment, and it comes from this community that you've built. So cheers to you. Cheers to the Frog Pants community and the Tadpool. Long may they reign.
Long may we reign indeed. That's really nice of you to say. And I'm super happy to hear all that went down that way for for him because he deserves it. That's
You
an
should
awesome
be
thing.
very proud, though. It starts with everybody meeting each other around these shows.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, then my work here is done. I will not. I can remain Galadriel and go into the West. Everything's great from here on out. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening. Frogpants.com/TMS is our website. Don't forget to follow all of us on Twitter. Morning Stream, Scott Johnson, The Vacationing Coverville, and Justin R. Young on Twitter. I think that's going to do it. Now, I have a final song to play. Sorry for the live audience getting cut short on that other one, but I'm going to play the 2014 version of DJ Earworm's mashup, The United States of Pop 2014. The title of this one is What Do You Want to Do? And what I want to do is take another couple of mornings off. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Justin, thanks again for being here. And are you there still? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, thanks. Just making sure. You never know what's stuff going on in here. That's going to do it. I guess that's it. We'll see you guys on Monday. If you have any current thoughts or plans or feelings or whatever, yell at me on Twitter, @Scott Johnson. We'll see you then.
Do what you wanna do. You can do what you wanna do. It's inside of you. Amen. Amen. Can't stop, won't stop moving. Don't speak the language. Music. Don't need explaining. I know that in the morning now. It's gonna be alright. I keep proving. Do I have to tell you? This music is beautiful too. All I really need to understand is I'll be alright. Because you know I'm all about that bass, about that bass. No trouble, you ain't even gotta tell me. No trouble, I'm all about that bass, about that bass. No trouble, you ain't even gotta tell me. No, because you know I'm all about that boom boom, about that bang bang, about that beat, about that bass, about that music. Katy Perry, Juicy J, Nikki, Jesse, and Ari. There's no going back. So you can do what you wanna do. You already know. You can do what you wanna do. From LA to Tokyo, it was all inside of you. All the time. Remember my name. Well, now that you know. So the cups got full. I'm gonna show you it's clear to see. What's in my front? And my baby, forever my vision. My prediction, I'ma be on top of the world. Can't stop, won't stop moving. Don't speak the language. Music, don't need explaining. Let it go, let it go. It's gonna be alright. Say yes, the answer is this music. What's really crazy? All I really need to understand is I'll be alright. Because you know I'm all about that bass, about that bass. No trouble, you ain't even gotta tell me. No trouble, I'm all about that bass, about that bass. You ain't even gotta tell me. It's gonna be alright. I know you want it. Bass, bass. No trouble, you ain't even gotta tell me. No trouble, I'm all about that bass, about that bass. You ain't even gotta tell me. That's what you want to do. Can't stop, won't stop moving. Don't speak the language. Music, don't need explaining. I know that in the morning now. It's gonna be alright. I keep proving. This music. All I really need to understand is I'll be alright. So you can do what you wanna do. You already know. You can do what you wanna do. From LA to Tokyo, it was inside you all the time. So you can do what you wanna do. That's what you wanna do. There's no going back. London to Taiwan, LA to Tokyo, it was inside you. Can't you taste this love? So you can do what you wanna do. That's what you wanna do. Amen. Amen. Amen.
show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Sex feels better than a ski boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Hey, by the way, news we did not get in because it broke while we were doing this. Spider-Man has been cast and as a director.
What? Who is it?
Another British person.
Ah, great.
Tom Holland will play Peter Parker. He's been in a bunch of movies I haven't seen.
Let's see here. I'm only seeing...
And it will be directed by John Watts, who I've never heard of. However, did an animated music video for one of my favorite bands that is not really gigantic. And I wonder if they know him. And that'd be very interesting. This is one of my favorite versions or one of their songs, too.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. Let's see. I'm looking here. Oh, this is wow. He's young. Well, he's 19. I guess he's not that young. He looks younger than he is, I think. Maybe that's good. That's what you want in your Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think somebody who is 19, looks 16, you want, you know.
So they're not doing them. There was some talk. There was a lot of rumor leading up to yesterday and today that this might be the... they were going to go with like a Latino actor and do the Morales character instead of Peter Parker. But I guess that didn't happen.
No.
Yeah. And it would be hard to do that just in the context of Civil War because that was straight up Peter Parker.
Well, and you want to get Peter Parker right.
Yeah.
Because the other thing is if you have Morales there, then the question's going to be, when do we get Peter Parker?
Yeah, good point. I'm being transfixed by this Star Wars actor Jake Lloyd's arrest in a high-speed South Carolina car chase.
Have I told you my sad Jake Lloyd story?
No. What happened?
Went, Star Wars Celebration 5 years ago.
Okay.
It was actually, wow. No, it was, I went to Star Wars Celebration and my first Dragon Con within like a month and a half. Anyhow. So Star Wars Celebration in Orlando Convention Hall, they got all these booths and stuff. And there was a booth for a guy who was the puppet operator of one of the characters, and he is so insignificant in the trilogy that I can't remember his name. Right, the character's name. This guy did not provide the voice. He did not provide any dialogue.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't write any dialogue. He literally moved the puppet.
All right.
4 people waiting in line for his autograph.
Wow.
I look across the hallway.
Yeah.
And I see a very sad Jake Lloyd.
Oh.
Nobody waiting.
Oh, that's terrible. That poor
I've
kid.
never felt worse for somebody. Now, it didn't make me feel so bad that I went to go get Jake Lloyd's autograph, notably. But I did feel very bad for Jake Lloyd, and I feel he might be the greatest victim of the original trilogy.
I kind of agree. Like, he got left in the dirt, and now he's literally...
Because it's hard enough to be a child actor,
Yeah.
right? Child actors who do great work a lot of times. You know, it's weird. Like, when you look screen ready as a kid, many times that doesn't translate to you looking like a normal adult. Go ahead and holler at the homie Haley Joel Osment right now.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit weird. Let's see.
Although he's become kind of a really fun character actor now. He's doing a lot of really fun stuff.
He's on something on Netflix. Keeps recommending something he does with is doing with sex or something. What is that? Netflix.
But yeah, no, he's you know, it's sad.
Yeah.
And it's sad that we are focusing on him now. Like, I mean, even if, you know, he's just kind of spiraling and having a hard time in life, it's hard that this is national news because he was in a movie everybody hates.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like he gets to do something screwed up and everyone's like, oh, but wasn't he great in E.T.? You know, like, it's not like that. It's like, oh, he screwed up. Oh, well, what a jerk. He sucked. He ruined my childhood.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he looks at us. He's like, no, but for real, you ruined my childhood.
No, we ruined his.
and yells about how bad the prequels are. You metaphorically talk about how I ruined your childhood, or these movies ruined your childhood. You literally ruined my childhood.
Oh my gosh, and that's so much worse. Like this poor guy, he's just having such a hard time. I'm looking at this arrest photo, and he just looks miserable, as you might when you get arrested for not stopping your car when cops are telling you to pull over. Oh, and Dick Van Patten died. Man, all this stuff broke right after we started the show. Sheesh.
Yeah, James Horner died last night.
Yeah. So that was confirmed. He was in the plane crash, right?
Yeah, that
sucks. That makes me sad. Let's see. Dick Van Patten died at 86. This morning, complications of diabetes. He was, let's see. Yeah. I like that guy. Well,
so John Watts looks like he's done a lot of music video work and a lot of some commercial work. But most notably, probably his longest gig was with The Onion, doing Onion stuff.
Oh, like Onion parody videos?
Yeah, the Onion parody videos, which makes sense because I know Kevin Feige, whatever his name is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Is very concerned about making sure that Spider-Man is funny. Like, if anything, the Marvel template of, 75% comedy cut with 25% high physical drama